Thank you. Well, call to order the fifth meeting of the Senate State and Local Government Committee. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Herron, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Mills, Senator Rawlings, Senator Tishner, Vice Chair Elkins, Chair Nemus.
Present. Okay. Announcements are that the block grant meeting is tomorrow, Tuesday, March the 4th at 9 a.m. in room 171. Reminders, please remember to silence your cell phones during the meeting. When explaining your vote, first cast your vote, then explain. We're going to go, the second item, go out of turn here. We're going to do Senate Bill 193. And since it's very simple and Senator Girdler couldn't be here, I'll kind of run through the bill. It's so that jailers will have a card that they carry in their wallet when they need to be outside the jail. And they used to do this, and Senator Girdler thought it was a good idea to do it. There's the fiscal impact note in your packet was pretty much zero. Anyone have any questions on this? Do I have a motion to? Do I have a second? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Senator Rocky Adams, Senator Chambers Armstrong, Senator Elkins, Senator Herron, Senator Maiden, Senator Mays Bledsoe, Senator McDaniel, Senator Mills, Senator Rawlings, Senator Tishner, Chair Nemus.
Aye. The bill passes 9-0, and we expect it to do the same on the Senate floor. So now we have, I see Senator Higdon just walked in, so we'll do Senate Bill 9.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Took me a second to get organized. I didn't realize.
I know you called me and I rushed you. You said, I'm going to be late. I said, no, you're not.
Well, when I walked in the door, I thought you were taking attendance, but you were doing a voting on a bill. So anyway, thank you all for, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. We're here today to talk about Senate Bill 9. And Senate Bill 9 will address the financial challenges of TRS and propose legislative solutions. Over the last several years, we have closely examined the funding levels of Teachers Retirement System, TRS, and the reality that it's not as well funded as many may believe. Since 2016, the General Assembly has allocated billions of dollars into TRS, far exceeding the statutory requirements. Despite these record contributions, system funding level has only marginally improved, raising from 56.4% funded in 2016 to 58.6% funded in 2024. To be fair, assumption changes have impacted funding levels, but the numbers still remain concerning. Additional payments toward TRS liabilities began in 2016 with an extra $500 million per year contributed beyond the statutory obligations. Looking ahead, in just 2 budget cycles, projected payments for unfunded liability are expected to surpass $2 billion annually. That's $2 billion with the B every year to pay for the unfunded liability. And those payments are projected to continue to increase. More concerning is the fact that TRS has experienced an annual negative cash flow of over $900 million in recent years. This raises significant concerns because future General Assemblies are only required to make the statutory payments, and many new legislators were not present when prior commitments were made to fully fund pensions. In recent address to Kentucky retired teachers, Gary Harbin stated that TRS is in good shape financially as long as the General Assembly continues to make the payments. We need to provide clear guidance to school systems and TRS. The proposed bill does not reduce the number of sick or personal days teachers receive. Instead, it standardizes what TRS will cover. Effective July the 1st, 2026, this legislation will direct TRS to only cover up to 10 sick days and 2 personal days per year in retirement calculations, totaling a total number of 12 limit that can be calculated and used for final compensation. Schools can still provide additional leave days. They can provide all they want. But the school districts will be responsible for covering the additional costs for days allowed beyond the TRS limit of 12 days per year. Currently, Kentucky's 177 local school districts and co-ops have inconsistent policies. And we're part to blame because we put guardrails of what the minimum amount of sick days could be, but there was never a guardrail put in place for what the maximum amount of sick days and personal days would be. And there's really nothing in the statute that says that personal days or emergency days can be rolled into sick days, but that's kind of what's developed over the years. 13 districts allowed 10 sick days and 1 personal day. 52 districts allowed 10 sick days and 2 personal days. 97 districts allowed 10 sick days and 3 personal days. 15 districts offer even more, with emergency days rolling over to sick leave. We have several districts that allow as many as 16 days that can be used toward final retirement calculation. Some school districts allow administrators to roll annual leave they accumulate over beyond the 60 days allowed. They allow them, if they have extra days over the 60, they've been allowing them to transfer those to sick days. I assure you will not find any legislation that allows annual leave over 60 days to be used as additional unfunded benefits, but you also won't find any language that prevents these additional unfunded perks either. This bill will stop that practice. Additionally, there are over 30 state agencies associated with TRS that use annual leave in their final benefit calculations. Plus, there are 4 non-state agencies that participate in TRS, and we are paying their unfunded liability. Currently, we do not have the information on policies of many of these agencies. I have requested those. This is noteworthy that all state agencies other than TRS calculate annual leave as service credit, which does not create an unfunded liability or increase retirement benefits. The lack of uniformity creates disparity. Senate Bill 9 ensures that every teacher in Kentucky will receive equal treatment with 10 sick days and 2 personal days allowed to be rolled over into their final retirement calculation. This will also apply to annual leave and not allow that to be rolled into sick leave. If a district allows more, it will bear the associated financial responsibility. Plus, this directs uniformity among the agencies participating in TRS. FYI, in 2008, a limit of 300 sick days toward retirement was put into place. Those hired prior to 2008 can accumulate an unlimited amount of sick days. While this legislation will not result in significant cost savings, It will ensure fairness, accountability, transparency, and consistency across the state. Another issue in the bill addresses the annual leave payout structure. Currently, administrators hired before 2008 can accumulate up to 60 days of annual leave and receive full payout upon retirement. Employees hired after 2008 are not eligible for this benefit. This legislation will make sure that no annual leave is rolled into sick leave. Additionally, we understand that some education co-ops are processing payroll for third-party entities, raising additional questions. Who are these third parties? What is their sick day policy? And are they employing educators, and are those educators participating in TRS? What are the sick day and annual leave policies of these organizations? This legislation will introduce uniform reporting requirements and oversight of all participating agencies to ensure accountability. It will include mandatory reporting for school districts. PPOB has had discussions with TRS regarding administrative regulations to require detailed annual reporting of accumulated sick days. However, these have not yet been fully implemented. This legislation will mandate such reporting to enhance oversight and long-term planning for school districts and other agencies participating in TRS. If you want a real-world example of what sick days and annual leave, I'll give you a hypothetical scenario. Consider the case of an administrator with 30 years of service and $350,000 annual salary and a 260-day contract who retires with 60 annual leave days and 300 sick days. They could have more than 300 sick days, but this is a scenario that I'm going to give you the final financial impact, the daily pay calculated. So you calculate the daily pay, the $350,000 administrator, and you would get a 260-day contract. That'd be $1,346 per day. The sick leave payout would be, they get 30% of that total for sick leave, would be $403 per day. And the total sick day payout, if you do the math, would be $121,000. And annual leave payout, annual leave is paid out at the full amount. Unlike teachers who get 30%, or sick days are 30%, annual leave is paid out at 100%. So that annual leave would be $1,346 per day with a total of $80,769. The lump sum added to final compensation, the $121,000 sick leave, $80,769 annual leave, it makes the final calculation for retirement, adds an extra $201,922. And also the school district would write them a check for that amount on the day they retire. They would collect a check at retirement for $201,922 at the expense of the school district. Of course, that would be less than 13.75% that they are required to contribute to TRS. This results in an additional $67,000 added to the final benefit calculation of the high three, which significantly inflates the pension. That leads to an approximately $3,200 per month in additional retirement benefits for sick and annual leave. The total monthly compensation for this individual would be an estimated $25,104 per month. Did I talk too fast? Did you miss any of that? Over a 25-year period, this unfunded liability on sick days and annual leave would amount to close to $1 million, plus 1.5% annual cost of living adjustment, or COLA, yearly, which are largely unfunded and ultimately borne by Kentucky taxpayers. Conclusion, we need to fix this leaky bucket. TRS is facing yearly negative cash flow, and while increment reforms may not result in immediate large-scale savings, they are critical steps to treat all teachers fairly, ensure financial stability, and provide accountability and transparency. This legislation aims to standardize sick and personal leave benefits statewide, enhance oversight and reporting requirements for transparency and accountability, ensure financial stability without penalizing teachers, hold school districts accountable for benefits offered beyond TRS coverage limits, and require sick and annual leave policies for all agencies to be on file and transparent, which leads to accountability. Additional provisions in this bill: it adds 30 maternity days for teachers, which cannot accumulate or be used for anything other than maternity leave. It requires TRS to report annual leave and sick day liability yearly. Allows school districts to make voluntary contributions to the supplemental account of Tier 4 teachers, up to $5,000 as a sign-on bonus. I will be adding a floor amendment that directs the state auditor to audit TRS and report on all agencies' sick day and annual leave policies. If we do nothing, we risk further increasing the unfunded liability and escalating the state's payment beyond the expected $2 billion in annual payments for unfunded liability, and those are projected to increase anyway, but will affect that even more. Now's the time to have an open and honest conversation. By addressing these challenges today, we can secure a more stable future for Kentucky educators and taxpayers alike. I know that was a lot of information, and if you're not on PPOB, you probably don't understand some of that, so I'd be welcome to explain any of it to any of you who have questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Mills.
Senator Higgins, thank you so much for your bill. I know that many of us that are on PPOB have been digging at this, and particularly you have for a while, and it's not easy information to even get to the start line on this, understanding what's actually going on and how the system is being used or operated. But I believe you answered one of my two questions